All right, let's start off by having a conversation about being the local economist of choice. Now, what that means is it's your job to know the market and to know the market better than anybody else does. Study metrics. Numbers tell a story. The path is in the math. Business is nothing more than a math equation. Now, what am I looking at? I want to know how many homes are for sale in a particular market. I want to know what how long those homes have been on the market. In other words, what's the days on market for homes in my area in the last 30 days? How does that compare to the previous 30 days? How does it compare to the market 6 months ago? And how does that compare to the market a year ago? I also want to know the properties that are going under contract, how quickly they're going under contract, and I want to know what the list price to sell price ratio is. And again, how does that compare to the market 30 days ago, 6 months ago, and a year ago? I want to know homes that are sitting and not selling. Why are they sitting? Why are they not selling? There's three reasons a home doesn't sell that should have, and it's price, presentation, or marketing. So in the list of homes that are not selling, is it price, is it presentation, or is it marketing? Well, even if it's presentation and marketing, it's always price, meaning price can fix everything. So what we're seeing mostly, and I had a coaching conversation with one of my coaching clients who's in Miami yesterday, and he has 7 active listings and none of them are selling. He's not getting any offers and the activity is really slowed down. So, he's frustrated. His clients are frustrated because they're reading the same articles that you're reading. They're seeing the same thing that you're seeing, and that's that the market's still great. Homes are still selling fast. They're selling with multiple offers. And what shift, right? Trainers and coaches who talk about a market shift like I do, a lot of people look at us as the sky is falling. The sky is always falling, right? We had a joke back in 2008 that Gary Keller started talking about the shift in 2005, and he talked about it again in 2006, and eventually it showed up. I mean, if you talk about something long enough, it's going to happen. In other words, he could say I was right, but he was wrong for an awful long time before he was right. Now, the bottom line is, however you want to look at the market, the one thing nobody can argue is there's fewer homes being sold. Fact. We're tracking 4.2 million homes sold. This is the United States. We're tracking 4.2 million homes sold in the US in 2023. Now, that's down from 6.2 million in 2021. It's a fact. Now, let's go back to the homes that are sitting on the market. Why are they sitting on the market? Well, they're sitting on the market simply because a seller is trying to get a price higher than buyers are looking to pay. We, as part of being a local economist of choice, have to understand that buyers today are scared. The buyers who are buying because they have to buy. There's not a whole lot of people out there buying homes right now because they're excited about the real estate market. They're excited about the fact that they're buying a property that's going to be worth more a year from now and 5 years from now. And they're super excited about this. It's fun. Let's go. There's not a whole lot of those buyers. The buyers that we do have are buyers who have to buy, need to buy, and they're afraid. They're afraid because they know or they suspect that their home they're buying is going to be worth less than what they're paying for it a year from now. And they're freaking out about this. Now, they're also buying knowing that they're paying 6.5%, 7% for interest when the market 3 years ago was 3%. So they're not super excited about those interest rates either, which means we're looking for motivated buyers, and there's not a whole lot of them. And motivated buyers are looking for absolutely the best product, the best home at the lowest price, which means if you're just a little bit overpriced, you're going to get ignored. If you took two homes side by side, one 750,000, the other one 740,000, and they're both identical. They both have the same floor plan. They were built the same year. They're in the same condition. They're identical. That seller who listed their home at 750 because a buyer can always make an offer. They can always come down later. They're not going to get the offer because the buyer is going to make an offer on the $740,000 home. It's priced better. Now they're probably going to offer 730, maybe 720. They're not going to do that with the $750,000 home. It's just common sense. Now, the seller would say, but the home next door isn't for sale. Okay, fair enough. What about the home that's 2 miles away from you that's just as nice as your home, but priced better? Who's going to get the offer? Well, they are. All right, so you need to be able to have conversations with your clients, just like the one I'm having with you right now. These are local economists of choice conversations. Now, the second thing that you want to do in order to survive, to thrive in this real estate market is understand lead generation, understand what lead generation needs to look like today versus what it looked like a year ago. If you do what you did a year ago, you're not going to get the same results. I promise you. I'm talking to real estate agents every day who are way confused over this. We're doing the same thing I was doing. Why am I having such a hard time? This is why. Just because the market has moved, I'm going to back up. Fewer leads, fewer showings, increased days on market. Fewer leads, fewer showings, increased days on market. The minute these signs show up, take notice. Don't ignore them and don't wait to act. These are the early warning signals of what most likely is coming next. More inventory and fewer pendings. And I know you guys are seeing this because we talked about it yesterday. You are in markets where inventory has increased from less than 30 days to 2.5 months. You're seeing that inventory creep up. And it happens slowly, and then it happens suddenly. I guarantee you that if we stay on the path we're on, we're going to go from what felt like less than 30 days of inventory to all of a sudden we look up and there's 6 months of inventory. And we're going to say, how the heck did that happen? Well, it happened the same way that it happens every other time. The market changes slowly and then it changes suddenly. And I promise you're going to see the same thing. Now, this is not a doom and gloom. You're thinking, why did I tune into this morning? And it's 30 minutes of getting depressed. No, this is information that is designed to enable you, to empower you to succeed in spite of the market. If you know what you're doing, you should be excited about this and not dreading this. Demand slows down and supply builds up. It starts with fewer leads and ends with even less closings. Fewer leads, let's talk about that. So fewer leads means fewer people are calling on your listings, fewer people are coming to open houses, fewer people are reaching out to you because of your marketing. You have fewer leads, meaning there are fewer people looking to buy, and there are fewer people looking to sell. We're already there, guys. We've been there. Demand slows down and supply builds up. It starts with fewer leads and ends with even less closings. Well, we're there. There's less closings. You can't argue that fact. Buyers and sellers get thrown for a loop. Pay attention. They're freaking out. And they, in turn, throw the market for one. I'm on page 49 and shift. buyers and sellers get thrown for a loop, and they in turn throw the market for one. They throw the market for a loop. They throw the market for a loop because they go away. And you, who want to close 3, 4, 5 sales a month, are looking for buyers and sellers, and there aren't as many as there were. And those that you can find have put on the brakes. And you're frustrated and you're struggling because you want to get them moving forward. I mean, every single one of you, if I said, tell me how many potential listings you have in your pipeline, you would give me a number. You would give me a number of somewhere between 3 and 10. And then if I asked you, why aren't they listing their home today? Most of you would share the same thing. They're waiting. They're waiting for what? They're waiting for the market to get better. What if it doesn't? What if it gets worse? As leads become fewer, you must recognize the situation and make a more concerted effort to generate them. You, the real estate agents, must make a more concerted effort to generate leads. It means work harder, probably longer, with more effort. If you were lead generating 2 hours a day a year ago, and the result was you're closing 24, 36, 48 homes a year, and you're still lead generating 2 hours a day today, I promise you're not getting the same results. So you want a better result? Double down. 2 hours of lead generation becomes 4 hours of lead generation. If necessary, your entire workday is a lead generation. Anybody who said to me, I'm just frustrated, I'm not getting buyers, I'm not getting listings, what do I do? My answer would be lead generate 8 to 10 hours a day. That would be it. If you talk to enough people, you're going to find the motivated. You must be more rigorous and resolute in your lead generation than ever before, and more so than anyone else. In fact, now is the time to shift your lead generation activities into the highest gear possible. The cause and challenge of a shift is simply one word. The cause and challenge of a shift is simply one word. That word is motivation. Now, for those of you who are thinking motivation, you got it right. It's motivation. When a market has shifted, what has really happened is that buyer and seller motivation has changed. Regardless of the economic causes or the driving forces behind the shift, your market only shifts because the motives and rationale behind buying and selling has shifted. In other words, whenever and wherever economic shifts, so does motivation. So what's your job? Find the motivated. I'd start with the low-hanging fruit. The low-hanging fruit in today's market is expired listings. If you're tracking, this is part of being the local economist of choice. If you're tracking how many properties are coming off the market every 30 days, you're seeing that number go up, up, and up. I know, Beth, you shared with us 1st of September. In our local MLS, there were 1,300 expireds. I think I'm close, yes?
Yes, it was close to 15, but I think the flood had something to do with that too. They're all going to go back on. You watch.
Okay, well, if you're talking about properties that were withdrawn from the MLS, possibly, but I'm talking expired listings.
Yes.
So listings that expire, that means they came off the market at the end of the listing agreement, okay? And if there were almost 1,500 of those That's telling a story. All right. Here's the story, everybody. The story that it's telling us is that properties that are not priced correctly are not going to sell. They're going to be rejected by the market. In other words, script. If I'm sitting at a kitchen table and we're having a conversation with a seller and I'm showing them the comparables, I'm also going to show them all of the properties that were rejected by the market. In other words, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's a list of all the properties that were rejected by the market. Now, just let that sit for a moment. Give the seller an opportunity to respond. What? What do you mean rejected? Well, these are homes that the listings expired. Well, what do you mean by that? Well, they were listed for 6 months, maybe 90 days, and it didn't sell. I promise you the sellers are thinking, there are homes that are not selling in our market today because they think every home sells. Okay, so Gina says expireds have decreased in her market. Yeah, markets are local, and in your local market, you're going to see a different result than what Beth is seeing here. If you talk to Brian, my coaching client in Miami, who I was speaking with yesterday, the market's completely different there. All right, and it's also completely different based on price range. If you are selling homes that are $1 million plus, you're having a different conversation with your clients than if you're selling homes that are between $400,000 and $500,000 because the market's different. How's the market? The answer is it depends. It depends on location. It depends on what type of properties we're looking at, and it depends on price range. So low-hanging fruit expired listings, whether there's a whole lot of them or just a few of them. Start your day by making those calls. I notice your home is no longer available. I was just curious, if I had an offer on your home today, would you want me to bring you the offer? I notice your home came off the market at $700,000. Just out of curiosity, if a buyer showed up with $700,000 today, what would you do? I notice your home came off the market at $700,000. Just curious, did you get any offers? You're probably going to hear yes. What did those offers look like? You're probably going to hear they were lowball offers. You know, one was 650, one was 670. Your question, the next question should be, if you got the same offer today, what would you do? If you knew that was the highest price you were going to get, and in fact, the price was going to drop in the future, and you got the same offer today, what would you do? Just out of curiosity, if your home would have sold, where were you moving to? What are we looking for here, guys? The one word that is affecting our market today is motivation. We're looking for motivation. If I hear, well, I would move to Denver. What's in Denver? Well, I'm starting a new job there. Okay, they're motivated. If I hear I have a home that's being built and the construction will be complete in December and we're moving into that home in December, then I've got somebody who's motivated. My question to that person would be, can you close on that home without your home being sold? Well, yeah, we're pre-approved. Okay, cool. Does your pre-approval say that you're pre-approved for that amount without your home being sold? More than likely, they haven't thought about that. Now we've got somebody that's super motivated to get their home sold. And as soon as I discover motivation, if I could show you how I could sell your home for more money in less time, would you be interested in seeing how I could do that? Well, what are you going to do different than the last agent? Great question. You know, when a home doesn't sell that should have, like yours, it usually comes down to one of three things, either price, presentation, or marketing. And because I'm the local economist of choice and I'm a strategic pricing professional and I'm an expert at marketing your home in order to attract the right buyers, I'll be able to tell you exactly what we need to do to get your home under contract in the next 30 days when we meet on Thursday. You're not going to see a whole lot of for sale by owners in this market. Okay, get into your database and make sure you're talking to your people. Don't ignore them. You've got people in your database that are thinking of selling their home right now. I promise you, if you just called everybody in your database today and you ask them, who do you know that's thinking of selling their home? Somebody's going to say, I am. Challenge. Accept the challenge and call everybody in your database today and ask them that question. If you've got 1,000 people in your database and it's too many people for you to call today, then call 100 a day until you get through all 1,000. But remember, you're going to have to double down in order to succeed in this market, because the effort that you put into this a year ago is not going to generate the same results today. Pick a property that's sold and circle prospect around that home. Door knock or phone call. Door knocking's better. Knock on the door. Hi, home in your neighborhood. I'm John Dietz. I'm a real estate agent with Blank Real Estate Company. The reason I popped by today is I wanted to let you know that your neighbor sold their home. Matter of fact, sold for top dollar, which is great news. Our challenge now is we still have buyers looking for great homes like yours, and there's nothing for sale. Just out of curiosity, who do you know that might be thinking of selling their home? It's the same conversation if you're making phone calls. But if you did this every single day, I promise you that you would find people who are thinking of selling their home. If this is all you did every single day, you would talk to people who are thinking of selling their home. I promise you. Now, that inner voice inside your head is going to tell you I'm wrong. When you're 2 hours into this and nobody has said me, I'm thinking of selling my home, you're going to start having this conversation with yourself that goes something like this. John doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, you may already be having that conversation. John doesn't know what he's talking about. It worked for him, but it won't work for me. It worked on the west coast of Florida, but it won't work in South Florida or California or North Carolina or wherever you're at. I promise you it works. It doesn't matter where you're at. People are people. No matter where you are, it's the same challenge. We're looking for the motivated. Now, how do you find the motivated? Talk to more people. All right, guys, talk to me. Tell me what you heard, questions, comments, thoughts. What are you going to do different that you haven't been doing?
I've got a question.
Talk to me.
All right.